Hey everybody, this here's Joe with finpartsusa.com again, and we're coming to you with another one of our fin basics rigging, or fin 101, however we want to call it. Today we're going to talk about mast rake. So we've got our boat and we throw a mast in, and we're just not sure where to set all of these chocks up front, or down below there's a turnbuckle with some other stuff attached. So the turnbuckle down below will attach and move the base of your mast forward and aft, moving, of course, the top forward and aft. And these chocks will move the mast base up and down. So it moves it, but not as drastically as the bottom does. But working them together really works out well. So we have a couple ways that we're going to show you how to set your mast rake. So first thing you want to do is making sure that your JC strap, this bungee up front here, is off. You can have one side attached because it's not under any pressure. And then I like to take off my boom vang. I take the kicker off the vang. That way I don't have any extra forces down on the boom when I'm zeroing out my gauge. I always look up and I see that my mast is not already bent back. It's not already flexed. So that way it tells me it's just the weight of the boom hanging. So we have a scale that's already got a preset line that you attach into your halyard and you raise up. The same thing with a tape. Goes up, just attaches to the same, attaches up to the exact same pulley, or not pulley, shackle up top, and they come down. I sell these gauges on my website. It's a very scientific way to make sure that your mast rake is set appropriately. Each one of the mast makers has its own set of things, that pounds and different settings it likes to have its sails sailing in and conditions. So I have a North sail, so it says from 0 to 7 knots of wind to have it at 74 pounds. If it's 7 to 15, have it at 75 pounds. 15 and above, have it at 76 pounds of pressure. So what we do is we hook up our scale to our outhaul. You're gonna want, when you come down to the deck, when you bring it down to the deck with the main sheet, you're gonna want it to be at, for lengthwise, right here to this band. They call it the black band. My Allen here is blue, but the black band, you want it at 6020 millimeters, 6020 millimeters, or 19 foot 9 inches if you have an imperial tape. So I'm running imperial today because, you know, I'm American. So 19.9 is where I'm going. There is a slight bit of difference between the two. If you want to be exact, use millimeters, because that's what all the sail makers and the European makers use. But 19.9 is close enough for us beginners. So anyway, I like to set, once again, I make sure my boom vang's off. I make sure that my halyard is attached strongly. It's not going to just let go and whip my mast forward as we're doing this. So I've got my thing set. I tear it to make sure it's just the weight of the boom on it. Then I pull down. I pull the boom down until the boom is on the deck. Sorry for the shaky camera ship. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the boom is right here at the very edge of the gunnel. So right at the edge. And then, as you see, I'm at, if you can see that, hopefully 72, 73, and a little bit, but I'm jiggling and around because I'm trying to hold the camera at the same time. As I come over, as you'll see, 19.9 right on the tape. Oops, there we go. 19.9 right on that tape, so I know I'm good there. So I know that I'm within, for the conditions they're calling for today, I know that the rake is set correctly. The way you adjust your rake is you can either turn your turnbuckle down below. I like to start with my mast centered up inside of here. If I know it's going to be a windy day, I'm sailing out of San Francisco or somewhere really, really windy, I'm going to move my mast as far forward as I can get it. You want to get your mast far forward as possible to reduce helm between your mast and your centerboard bolt down here. That's where you measure from. the centerboard bolt and your mast base, if you want to get really technical, and those numbers are out there. So anyway, I like to start with the centered up for here in Colorado, because our conditions are all over the place. So I just say centered up for here. If I'm sailing windy, I move forward. If it's going to be really light, I'll move it as far back as I can. With that being said, with the centerboard, really windy, you want to slide your board back. If it's not very windy, you want to slide it forward. It's just general rules of thumb. Typically, if it's starting to white cap or if you're starting to hike, you want it back. It's just a simple rule of thumb. Everybody's different on your hiking ability, your sailing ability, so do what works best for you, but that's just a rule of thumb I found. So like I said, you can either turn your turnbuckle down below, or you can move these chocks up here to adjust your mast fore or aft to get you your numbers. Obviously I already set mine to before we started this video, so I wasn't fighting it the whole time that I'm trying to talk into a phone and hold it. So, but that's how I did it. So that is one way that you can check your mast rate. But I'm going to show you a really quick and easy way that if you don't have a scale and you just want to go sailing, I can show you. So, all right, everybody. So that was one way to do your the mast with the scale. So what I've done here is I've taken the scale off. My boom vang is still unattached. My JC strap is still unattached. What I've done is I've taken my tape, still on that same shackle up top, and you want to make sure you give it a couple tugs down on your, give it a couple good tugs down. And what you want to do is put it right to where you're, right on the gunnel where your rudder cutout is, right here. If you're back and nothing's on it, you want it between 22 feet 2 inches and 22 feet 3 inches. If you've got a really, really old sail that, you know, pretty shrunk up, you know it, you might go down to 22.1. 22.2 is a fantastic starting point as far as just bring that tape down right to there. Give it a couple bounces, or even like I've got my boat slightly raised in the nose up anyway to help the mast come back. Just want to make it tight. You want to pull down right to that spot. And if you've got 22 feet 2 inches, that's going to be really close to being the same rake as using the scale. The one downside is if you did move your chocks all the way forward, moved your mast all the way up, just remember that mast is already going to be forward, so that measurement's going to be slightly longer, or you're going to have too much rake if you don't account for that. That's why it's a really quick way. If you haven't moved your mast really, or you just want to check to see where you're at before you're going out, this is a really quick, easy way to do it. But those are the two ways to check your mast rake. The one with the scale is absolutely the most scientific. It doesn't matter where your mast is on your chocks up here. You can be all the way forward. That measurement is always going to be the exact same poundage if your mast is forward or aft, because you're not measuring off any specific thing like in the back of the boat with a moving mast. So that's the most scientific, definite way that you can do it. So if you're out, the reason that these chocks are kind of cut out and stuff as well, I want to hit with this, is you're out on the water. Let's say you set your mast rate for seven knots. So you did the 74 pounds on the scale. Well, all of a sudden you get out there and it's like today, all of a sudden this wind just came up not 10 minutes ago that really wasn't on the forecast. So you're already out sailing. So what you can do is, without moving the base of your mast, you can move a couple chocks from the front to the back, moving your mast forward, giving you more leech tension or less rake back with that mast. And so then you can, by doing that, putting that mast tip forward, you're adding leech tension, which is effectively adding poundage on your scale, giving you that 75, 76 pounds. Same thing, if you set it for all of a sudden it's supposed to be blowing stink that day, nuking away, and then all of a sudden it just dies, you can take chocks away, move that tip back, reduce that leech tension, effectively making the scale a lower number in the 74s, so that way your sail is going to handle better than being so tight. So anyway, if you're out on the water and you want to adjust these because it's getting really windy and you want to move your whole mast forward, what you need to do is learn here on shore how many turns on your turnbuckle is each one of these chocks. You've got 1 millimeter chocks, you've got 2 millimeter chocks, you got 5 millimeter, you got 10 millimeter. And I believe these are 20 millimeter chocks. So what you want to do is you want to go through and know 1 millimeter chock on a devotee is typically 1 turn on the turnbuckle. Every millimeter is a turn. You just have to know which direction to turn it to make sure you're turning the right way and not losing everything you're doing by moving it forward. So when you're out on the water and you want to move your mast way forward because it's just nuking away, you need to move the base of your mast forward also, or you're just going to screw up your rake. So by moving a chock, if I move this 5 millimeter chock right here, I know that I've got 5 turns on my turnbuckle, and that will keep my mast pretty darn the same as when I left the dock on as far as rake goes. So that's something you just play with on shore if you go out. If you don't plan on sailing for the day, but you're doing a little work to your boat, try it. Throw a tape measure on the back, get a scale and play with it and see and do it. I actually, when I first started, I was actually marking on these chocks how many turns. So when I picked up a chock, I would say, oh, okay, it's 5 turns, boom. And because out in the water, everything's going on, a 2 millimeter and a 5 millimeter, you may get confused on which one it is. So I just marked them. And then down below on my inside my hull down here, I would actually write with the magic marker on it which way it turns, showing me which direction the mast base went. So on the water, I didn't even have to think about it. I looked down, I saw those markings, and I knew exactly what I had to do. So anyway, just some tricks for the brand new person out sailing. I know you old guys that are maybe watching this, you're looking at this thing and yeah, I've done all that before. But these videos are for the brand new sailor that doesn't have maybe somebody to talk to right there on shore with them, helping them get this going. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you need anything, my website, finpartsusa.com, you can just contact me through that or through a message, an email. My phone number's on there. You can call or text. I'm happy to help. So hope this helps. Talk to you later. Bye.